What is a lie that way too many people believe? My favorite news channel is the only one that isn't biased. The only unbiased news network is The Onion. You speak the true. That if you're good then good things will happen to you and vice versa. And similarly, that hard work will bring success. Yes, it makes it more likely, but no, there is no guarantee. People point to people who have pulled themselves out of poverty and go, look at them. They were really hard and they succeeded. If you work hard, you can do the same. It's just confirmation bias. Of course the people who pulled themselves out of poverty worked hard. You can't do it without working hard. That's the baseline requirement. But it's far from the only requirement. The vast majority of poor people do work hard, don't pull themselves out of poverty, because the system won't let them. None of the lucky opportunities that presented themselves to the successful ones present themselves to most people. Being poor isn't a character flaw. It's a societal failure. That they can do a couple of minutes worth of research on the internet and that puts them on the same level of actual experts. Google's great but not so great that Joe Schmo from Reddit can argue with a scientist who's dedicated his/her life to a field. Redditors will not like that. When will you become billionaire? The news lacks an agenda. You do realize it's a business, not a service, right? They're trying to turn the biggest profits that they can. Just like every other business. True, they are not in the business of making sure we have the full objective truth about every situation. They're in the business of sales. They write what sells. They sure used to be though. Sad to see it in America, where everything's a business now, rather than letting the people collect all info and make a well thought out choice. That every guy in it can hack anyone's Facebook or SMTH. Like that. I know, right? Now they look down on you for saying you can't/won't anyway. That carrots help your eyesight. In World War II, England had a propaganda campaign using their first soldier to shoot down an enemy plane using AI. They said his night vision was due to the fact that he ate lots of carrots, not the night vision goggles, and it kinda just stuck. Edit. Yep, sorry, it's radar, not night vision. I think it was radar, not night vision goggles. They needed a way to explain how suddenly they were shooting down a lot more planes and didn't want people to find out about and steal the new tech. Thus, carrots. It was radar. Great piece of propaganda. That vaccines cause autism, and even if it did, they think autism is much worse than being protected from a life-threatening disease. One time on Facebook, after hearing this kind of stupidity, I mentioned that my brother once got whooping cough when we were little kids and how sick he was. Some genius said all we needed to cure him was vitamin K or something. Ugh. If I was you, I would've made a fool out of them. Yes, they cheated on me, but they're really sorry. They'll never do it again. I trust them now. A few months later, okay, it happened again. But they're so sorry and so upset that there's no way they'll do it again. I trust them now. A few months later, okay, that's 3 times now. But they've promised it was the last time and they'll be faithful forever now. I still trust them. Thanks for bringing up some really unpleasant memories of my first ex. What you wrote is exactly what I believed. Broke up with her a month later. Why and how? Cheating to me is the ultimate form of betrayal and I'd never be able to touch or even look at that person again. Yes, I'd be heartbroken and devastated, but it's better than constantly being tortured. Marriage means you live happily ever after. Marriage should never be a goal, just another step along the way. Marriage shouldn't be expected of everyone. The plus in getting married in the US is shared health insurance, taxes, etc. That's bullshit, and you shouldn't have to be legally bonded to be able to receive those benefits. Then if the marriage fails, the man usually gets ducked. It's not you, it's me. What that really means is I no longer want to spend time around you due to your personality. Yeah, I've made the 1 billionth Google search and you are eligible for a $1,000 gift card. But the guy said he would transfer the money after I gave him my bank details. Was he a Nigerian prince? He owes me $50 million after I sent him a deposit. If you make that face, your face will stay that way. IDK man, I've been ugly since my parents made me. That the guy on the Monopoly board wears a monocle, ace, and you must be the Monopoly guy? Punch la daddy. That disability in the US is easy to get. My mother was forced to divorce my quadriplegic father in order to get home care for him while she was working 2 jobs to support infant me and disabled him. The system is flawed, and the folks commenting above me are apologizing for it without having experienced it. The world would be a much better place if people refrained from having opinions on shit they don't understand. I used to work the hearings. It was hard. That everything you eat is unhealthy. Most of the time people are talking about junk foods or processed goods. But if you home cook foods, almost everything is as healthy as can be. It all depends on the type of ingredients used and quality. I can make a potato chips and a burger at home that is under 1000 calories and taste better than McDonald's with more on the plate too. But too many people on Reddit believe that foods are almost innately unhealthy when they aren't. You just have to make things yourself and check ingredients. Going to chain store will OFC have unhealthier options because they load food when unhealthy stuff to make it taste better. I'm amazed when people argue you shouldn't eat fresh fruit because it's sugary. Homeopathy. Social media is free. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Also, your information are not worth much. Definitely not as much as people think. Yep, the money is in high quantities. That you can sabotage your own overtime/salary raises by moving up a tax bracket. I've heard people say things like I wanted to take that overtime, but that would bump my paycheck up a tax bracket and I'd end up taking less home than I would have if I just didn't take the OT. Tax brackets don't tax your entire paycheck if it's above that threshold. They only tax the portion above each bracket. For example, let's assume that for the first several tax brackets are $0 to $20, 000, 10% $20, 001 to $50, 000, 20% $50, 001 to $75, 000, 30% $75, 001 to $110, 000, 40%. If you took home $19, 000 annually, you'd fall squarely in the first bracket. Therefore, your take-home pay would be $17. 100, 90% of $19, 000. Now, assume you got a raise of $2, 000 annually, boosting your pay to $21, 000. People under the misconception of how tax brackets work would think they would only take home $16, 800, 80% of $21, 000. However, the way it actually breaks down is that only past each threshold is your pay taxed at that rate. So your actual take-home pay would be 90% $20, 000 plus 80% $1, 000 equals $18, 800. Likewise, if you had a job paying $105, 500, then according to the example brackets, your take home would be 90% $20, 000 plus 80% $30, 000 plus 70% $25, 000 plus 60% $35, 500 equals $80, 800. TL. Doctor, there is no way you can lose money by moving up tax brackets. If you make enough money to advance into a higher bracket, only the money you make above that threshold is taxed at the higher rate. Yes, I have had to explain this to people so many times. Super frustrating that no one knows this. If I only do /say, they'll love me back. It's been proven to work though. I poked a hole in my condom and me and my girl have been together for years, even though we weren't getting along. No, it's not my kid but it still worked. That OCD is a I need to organize my desk kind of disorder. I mean, if the state of your desk is haunting you at 2 AM and you just can't sleep, if you don't organize it, because Jesus duck why is it not organized? Then sure. Yeah, but most of the times people will say sorry it's my OCD when they organize something that they don't care about. That they are special in some way. 7 billion people on this earth and you and I are just as average as the majority of that population. Thanks for my new existential crisis. Anytime. That phone radiation is harmful. Underrated. That COVID is a hoax and there is a sinister agenda behind getting people to wear masks and stay inside. Seriously people. Bummer rights. Many dietary myths, but in particular fat makes you fat. Calories are calories. You take in too much, you gain weight. You take in too little, you lose weight, as long as you're physical active. Fat is an important macronutrient that you shouldn't cut out. This. Exactly this. You aren't fat because you had a Big Mac. You are fat because you eat too many Big Macs. Quantity of food makes you fat, not quality. I ducking love how this fits in. That their healthcare bill represents actual cost. It seems to leave many with the belief that universal healthcare would be extremely expensive because, understandably, they assume the price they are charged is based on reality. It horrifies me. The tax burden in Canada is a lower per capita cost than the healthcare in the US, and none of us get bankrupted or have to divorce our loved ones to get healthcare. When I get injured and go to a hospital, all I have to deal with is getting better. It's a very good thing. I live in England, where it's the same. There are many examples of free/subsidized/capped healthcare systems. None of them are perfect, but all of them are better than treating health as a business. That they aren't worth loving. Applicant tracking systems have AI that rejects your application if your resume is missing keywords. This is a myth perpetuated by career coaches on LinkedIn who have never had a real job or worked in recruiting. If you answer yes to all the minimum qualifications, a human looks at your resume, unless they find the right person, before they get to you. You mean my resume shouldn't look like a liver bar and wish item descriptions made sweet love with lorem ipsum? That dry cleaners don't use liquids, that's why it's called dry cleaning. Actually, in dry cleaning, clothes are instead soaked in a water-free liquid solvent known in the industry as PERC, which is the most widely used solvent, close bracket. And that stuff is nasty. Mom is always correct. Nice try, Mom. Who told you about Reddit? I'm happy. That normal women are clinically obese. Yes, women come in all sorts of thigh/hip/waist/chest ratios. Your average woman isn't going to fit into the jeans designed for long, thin thighs and the narrow hips of a model. But that doesn't mean that we should be making a bunch of mannequins obese and flooding women's media with obese models. This is normalizing obesity, and people who are objectively, undeniably obese now think that they're a normal body type. Who TF believes that? The people putting up obese mannequins everywhere. Whatever their politician of choice says. Their own BS. Way to call me out. Milk makes you taller and stronger. The only thing getting stronger thanks to milk is the smell of my farts. That bats are blind. Many actually have very good eyesight. Some do have issues seeing, but not all. I lost an argument about this in school. During class. Duck's sake. Bats look at you with big huge eyes. I'm pretty sure they can ducking see. That Columbus discovered America and discovered the world isn't flat. The only thing he discovered was that if you go from Europe and just go west, you don't get to Asia, you get to America. Because of that, people have been calling Native Americans Indians for way too long. He was also a mass murderer. That parents or any person older that you is always right. It's still fun to use on people who are a few days younger than you. A lie most people seem to believe, because of mainly social media, are detox teas. You have a liver for a reason. Detox teas are not going to rid your body of toxins. It is a scam used for profit. Just a fun fact, a lot of weight losing teas are just laxatives. It is more of an omission of truth than a lie, but many people are under the impression that the natural world has not been subject to serious interruptions of service in the past few decades. Face mask lowers oxygen. It doesn't, it's just that people don't wanna think about others, and they just want to think about themselves, like some people in medical field wear them for hours and some regular people don't want to wear them for a few minutes, even though it protects them. Got in an argument with my new pediatrician because they weren't covering their noses. You guys are serving kids. That people's lives are as great as you see it on social media. The more you post, the more insecure you are. That's true. There was a study that found out the more a person posts, the more they're insecure, and that when you post you get an increase in confidence, but a decrease in self-control. School's fine. School is fine. Adulthood is not. A white lie I always believed was that having the car light on while driving at night was illegal. I totally believed it as a kid, but now that I'm older I realized that would be stupid, and it was just a lie parents told. Mine said that the cops would think you're rolling a J. That's funny cause when my friend is rolling a J with the light on I get paranoid a cop will pull us over. That I'm okay. That I'm happy. That money brings happiness. Not having to worry about it can make the path to happiness easier though. But no. The money itself has never directly contributed to my happiness. Exactly. It makes life easier, but that's about it. If you exercise you lose weight. It doesn't work that way. Exercise is great, but diet has more to do with weight than exercise. At least as far as body fat and fat storage. You could bench press twice your weight and still be overweight due to your diet. Just because a news source is biased doesn't mean it isn't factual. That being said, make sure to fact check. Read more than one article. Look for peer-reviewed articles and research. 5G causes COVID. Beating your kids will make them obey. Yeah, it won't. It really just leaves them in a pretty bad place mentally, and it just makes them hate their parents. Yep, I was raised by fist and foot. It didn't leave me well adjusted. If you stay home your whole life, don't go anywhere outside to parties, with friends etc. Closed bracket comma. Someday you will find love of your life. Who actually believes that though? Some of my introvert friends. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.